Guys, this is Nurse Jay at Nursing the Truth. I hope everyone is having a great day. And it is so cold down here in the deep south, 44 degrees. So I really need to be in front of the fireplace making this video, but I have my crown chakra candle in the background, giving me a little bit of warmth, but not that much. So just do it is what's on my t-shirt. Yes, I don't care about the Nike commercials and Colin Kaepernick and all that kind of good stuff. But what Nurse Jay does is she just does it. And she does it with pride, and she does it with heart, because I bring you the truth. So you're asking, well, Nurse Jay, what kind of truth are you going to bring us today? You know, you haven't been on the internet all weekend. It's because I think about what I'm going to talk about. I contemplate, I meditate, and I get along with other conscious people, and I recollect of the things that I want to talk about. So, did Jesus ever say that he was the Son of God, or he was God, or was he even from the bloodline of David? So let's go to Matthew chapter 1, the first book of the New Testament. Well, let's see. The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Well, that's kind of funny in its own self, because if he was the Son of God, why would you want to even have a human bloodline of David and or Abraham? Which we know there was no such personages as these people. And the Roman people were really grasping at straws. You know, who can we attach this person to, and who can we attach, you know, these writings to? How can we make this work for our new religion, our new God for the Roman Empire? So you take from other people, that's what you do, and you incorporate them into the storyline. So first of all, we know that this is fraud. And this Jesus personage, if he was God in the flesh, why would he need to have a genealogy from a man? Have you even scratched your head to think about that? But it's all BS anyway, but I just want to show you in the scriptures how funny this shit is. So, in Jewish, they always go with the bloodline of the mother. And that's so funny because they always went to the bloodline of the mother, the matriarchal system in Egypt too. Which Mary is another name for Isis. Guess you didn't know that. Now, you know, as we've all been, you know, talked about in these scriptures, as in Luke 18:38. Let's go to Luke 18:38, okay? Matthew, Mark, Luke. Luke 18:38. And what it says is, and he cried, saying, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And they which went before rebuked him that he should hold his peace, but he cried so much the more, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And Jesus stood and commanded him to be brought unto him. And when he was come near, he asked him, saying, what wilt thou that I shall do unto thee? And he said, Lord, that I may receive my sight. And Jesus said unto him, receive thy sight, thy faith hath saved thee. And immediately he received a sight and followed him, glorifying God. And all the people, when they saw it, gave praise unto God. So we have this man, he cannot see. And he's going around, thou son of David, thou son of David, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Now let's go to Mark 10:47. Let's see if this is the same story. 10:47. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And many charged him that he should hold his peace, but they cried more a great deal, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And Jesus stood still and commanded him to be called. And they called the blind man, saying unto him, Be of good comfort, rise, he calleth thee. And he, casting away his garment, rose and came to Jesus. And Jesus answered and said unto him, What wilt thou that I should do unto thee? The blind man said unto him, Lord, that I may receive my sight. And Jesus said unto him, Go thy way, thy faith have made thee whole. And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus in the way. Now, what's crazy about Mark is the very first book that was written after the temple destruction. So we don't know who these authors were. They were just named by the church. But what is crazy about verse number 50, and the man, he, casting away his garment, rose and came to Jesus. Now, why would he take off his garment? That's crazy. But anyway, I thought he'd be more concerned with his eyesight, not taking off his clothes. But there was another book called The Secret Book of Mark, and it wasn't all that great. It was kind of pornographic, I guess. So you need to read that. And they say that the secret book of Mark is actually your Mark in the scriptures, but they took things out and twisted and added a little bit here and a little bit there. Now, is Jesus the son of David? Was he going around saying that he was? Let's see what this man of mystery says. Go to Matthew chapter 22 and 32. And let's explain this. This is in red, the Romans wrote. I am the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. And when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine. His. Not the Torah, not the New Testament, but his doctrine. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. He shut the Sadducees up. He shut the holy rollers up. He shut the money men's mouths shut. He shut the lion mouths of the preachers shut. Then One of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, now that's funny, a lawyer? I don't really know if there was any lawyers at that time. I mean, I have to check that out. I'm sure there could have been. Was this the made up story of Paul being the lawyer? Tempting this man? I don't know. Master, he says, the lawyer. Now, why would a lawyer call Jesus a master? Which is the great commandment in the law? Well, let's see what this has to say. Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Love the Lord your God. It's kind of funny. Shall love the Lord thy God with all my heart, your God. He's not quoting the commandments that he gave to Moses on Mount Sinai or Mount Horeb, whichever mountain you want to jump off of. If he was God in the flesh, he would have said, Thou shalt not be no graven images, and thou shalt not worship any God beside me. He says this is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So, we have a problem, Houston. What's wrong with Apollo, the sun? Go to Exodus 20. He says, this God, Thou shalt have no other gods before me. But Jesus says, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. Is that what he said to the Israelites? The second, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. But he says, Jesus says, love thy neighbor as thyself. And these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Two different doctrines, two different ways. If this man existed or not, which there's no historical reference, this is Gnosticism at its finest. On On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them, now listen closely, my dear truth seekers, saying,